Welcome to the Chris Hatcher Show, presented by Coca-Cola. I'm your host, Kevin Blackwell, and of course, I'm joined each week by Samford head football coach Chris Hatcher. This past Saturday, the Bulldogs took on the East Tennessee State Buccaneers for an important Southern Conference matchup and came away with a 24-17 victory to improve to 4-4 overall and 3-2 in the conference. Coach, it was a soggy day, big win for the Bulldogs. But we have to hand it to the defense. They came ready to play Saturday.
Well, they really did, and it's been a group that's had some tough games headed up until Saturday, but I was really proud of their effort. We were much more confident. We were more aggressive. We tackled better. We forced them to more negative plays, created 2 early turnovers, and then made a big stop there at the end of the game. So I'm really proud of that group again. They've had some rough spots, but Saturday they showed up. They kept the game, close enough for the offense to squeak a few good plays out in order to take the lead late. But definitely defense, they did their part in winning that ball game on Saturday.
Yeah, I want to talk about some of those guys on defense. Jordan Montgomery had a great game, 9 tackles. So did Ty Herring. Armand Lloyd came with a big game, 8 tackles and a sack. And, of course, you mentioned the 2 turnovers with Atkinson with interception, and Marcus Cheeks jumps on that fumble. That was a huge play.
Well, it was. The first one kind of just set the tone for the game. That was the opening drive. We force a turnover. Aaron Atkinson intercepts a ball around midfield, and then we go down and score, go up 7-0. And then either it was the next drive or the 2 drives later, we forced another turnover deep in our territory. Unfortunately, we turned it back over to them. But, Lloyd and Foster have really been playing good in the interior line. Nash and Granger, they did their jobs very well. And then I thought our safeties played one of their better football games. And one play that doesn't really go on the stat book, but, late in the game on the final drive, Jordan Montgomery knocks down a pass, a deep ball over the middle. Made a really good play there that didn't allow them to get out from their goal line. So I was real pleased. All those guys played well.
They did. Let's talk about the offense. Obviously, on a game like that, a day like that, where the weather is just so bad, how much does that limit your play calling with your offense?
I think at the end of the day, I don't know that the weather affected us offensively like I would like to say it did. It was a very poor performance in the first half, probably one of the worst statistical halves that I've ever had, as a head football coach. And then the second half, our guys, Russ Calloway, Derek Sherman, Michael Nicewinder, Sean Bostic, made some really good adjustments. And then that showed the second half. We were able to get some bigger plays. We were able to move the ball a little more consistently. We're having a hard time. We're very one-dimensional right now offensively. We're running the ball well. We're just not throwing the ball. We're not completing them. We're under 50%, which is, you can't score a lot of points being that way. So we got to find a way to be able to, I don't like to use the word balance because it doesn't matter to me. I throw it every play, run every play, whatever's working. But we got to be able to find a way to start completing balls down the field, or people are just going to be able to sit in there and stop that run game. So that's a big point of emphasis headed into the next opponent. But, I would like to say that the weather affected us a lot. It didn't. We just didn't play very good offensively.
Well, we did run the ball effectively, 194 yards on the ground, 11 first downs on the ground. Talk about the performance of Jacquet Giles. He really played well in the game. I know that it's been kind of running back by committee in a sense with some injuries that we've had, but this freshman out of Auburndale, Florida, really played well for us.
He's a guy that that has a lot of juice about him. He's got tremendous speed, agility, tough player. Got hurt early on in camp, so we kind of had to shelve him a little bit, and that's when Jay kind of stepped up after DeMarcus going down, and then Jay's kind of been beat up a little bit too. So Jaquette's come along. He's had some really good weeks of practice, and we felt it was his time to get in the game, and he made some good runs. So, the future's bright there. We got 3 guys now if we can get him back, 3 guys that have shown flashes of being really good running backs for us.
Yeah, he comes in, he scores the winning, really would end up being the winning touchdown for us, which was big for him in his career. Let me also just mention that Michael Weiss had a touchdown, and we haven't talked too much about him on the show, but he's made some impressive catches, this tight end out of Vestavia.
Well, he's a phenomenal player, and he's going to do nothing but get better. When we get in our big sets, he's a vital part of that. We get down in the red zone, he's a monster down there, and he made a big catch, on a little rub route that we ran on the goal line. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. He already is, but each week he seems to get better and better, and we just got to find more ways to utilize him moving forward.
Special teams also, I thought, played well in the game. Mitchell kicked a field goal in some pretty difficult circumstances, and I want to just say Porcelato's punt toward the end of the game was a huge, I thought, key play, pin them deep.
Well, it was a situation where we're in our 4-minute offense, and we forced them to use all their timeouts. We got in a situation we wasn't going to throw the ball because we wasn't throwing it very well. We got in a situation where you either kick a 47-yard field goal, and at that point the weather had deteriorated a little bit, as you well know. Yeah. Or do we just pin them deep, and we've been playing great defense the whole game. So we made the decision, pin them deep, excellent operation, pin them inside the 5, and then left it in the hands of our defense, who played really well. And then, of course, they made the stop, forced the turnover, and we win the game.
Yeah, and it did help that the rain intensified on that last part of the game for us.
Well, the ghost of Cybert Stadium came out, and when the rain really came down and over the headsets, I'm going, let it rain, let it rain.
That's right.
And of course, at that point, it's hard for the referees to exchange balls because the clock's running. They're trying to give the offense plenty of time to do it, and the quarterback fumbled the snap, and due to a wet ball, and we were able to recover it, and we squeaked a win out, which was very satisfying. But what's been the difference is we haven't made the plays that we needed to down the stretch. The other night, one of our best kickoff coverages were after we took the lead with about 5 minutes to go in the game. We stuffed them. We get a great opportunity there on the punt. We do a great job of pinning them deep. Offensively, we milked 3 minutes and 3 timeouts off of the opponent, and then defense, we forced a turnover to win the game. So the difference this week and those other weeks is we made the plays down the stretch, and we're going to have to continue to do that to be successful moving forward.
Yeah, and let's talk about moving forward. We set it at 500 for the season. We are 3-2 now in the conference with a good portion still of our conference schedule in front of us. Some key opportunities for us to kind of make some hay in the rest of the season for the conference.
Well, there's no question about it. I mean, we have a great opportunity coming up to get over 500, to position ourselves a little bit better in the conference. It's a daunting task ahead of us, but we go to Mercer this week, my hometown of Macon, Georgia, so excited about that. But we play again, it's Southern Conference football. We're all about the same, and it depends on who plays the best that particular day. And I know you go, well, that makes a lot of sense, but it really does. And again, we got to continue to improve on our defensive performance this week. We got to find a way to be more consistent in all phases offensively. And then our special teams, we got to just continue to do what we're doing there in order to come home with a road win, which is very difficult in this league.
Quickly talk about what you're seeing for Mercer on film, and what do you expect to see Saturday?
I think they're a little bit like us. They've had some injuries. Robert Riddle, who I think is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, got injured a couple weeks ago, and he's out. So I know they're battling, playing their backup quarterback, which is sometimes a difficult thing to do. Defensively, they're very solid. They're big up front. They hold their gaps well. And then offensively, they got a lot of weapons over there. And I think, they've kind of had to change some different things because of the quarterback situation. But, they knocked us off last year early in the year, and it's going to be a tough game. I mean, it is. That's a tough place to play. And, again, they're very well coached, so we got to go bring our A game this week if we want a shot.
And that kickoff will be 6 p.m. at Mercer as Samford takes on the Bears. That'll do it for this week's edition of the Chris Hatcher Show, presented by Coca-Cola.